に来てから初めての夏が来ますね。
だな。早いな。
The Fruits Basket series may be over, but there's still more to discover about the characters we've grown to love. With Fruits Basket Prelude comes the story of Toru's parents, Kyoko and Katsuya, as well as the bittersweet love that blossomed between them. Fruits Basket officially ended with the final episode of the third season, but the movie Prelude provided us with some additional scenes from the future. Welcome back to our channel, anime fans. In this video, we'll be recapping the Fruits Basket Prelude with spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode yet, turn back now. We'll be discussing all the major plot points, so consider yourself warned. And let's dive in. This epilogue doesn't really give us much in the literal sense of the world, but these short scenes were more than enough to satisfy us. This is the last part of the Fruits Basket anime series that you should watch, as it finally brings the whole story to an end. Its touch of the fantastical adds a layer of intrigue while keeping the interpersonal relationships at the heart of the story, and animation studio TMS Entertainment's compilation and prequel movie, Fruits Basket Prelude, provides a satisfying close to the 2019 TV anime reboot. Though the movie could have afforded to dial it back on the compilation element of the movie, the meat of the plot surrounding the origins of Toru's parents and the touching epilogue at the end make this essential for longtime anime and manga fans. Fruits Basket Prelude tells the story of Kyoko and Katsuya Honda, the parents of the series protagonist Toru Honda. When we meet Toru in the series, we know that both of her parents are dead, but she's trying to keep an upbeat outlook on life and do right by her parents, particularly her mother. From the photographs Toru has of her mother, Kyoko appeared to be where she got that "my smile is brighter than the sun" personality, which is why it's surprising when you learn about her past. Kyoko actually used to be about that gang life and was known for being a violent, troubled teenager until she met Toru's father. This movie centers on Kyoko's past, her relationship with her husband, and how Toru became a highlight in their lives. The story beats are all there. The execution, however, is something to be desired. For anime fans, especially in the TV space, the practice of airing recap episodes is nothing new, even if it's something of a nuisance for those eager for weekly episode premieres for their favorite series to begin. The movie does accomplish what it sets out to do once the story gathers steam, and to be fair to Fruits Basket Prelude, it is marketed partly as a recap/compilation feature in addition to a prequel for the main storyline following Toru and Kyo. Even so, the series recap portion seems to drag its feet to a degree with the runtime it was allotted. That also might mean, for veteran series fans, that these otherwise pivotal moments in Toru and Kyo's evolving dynamic won't hit as hard, since it's quite a bit of known information being presented again in a smash cut, highlight reel style format. However, to once again be more fair to TMS Entertainment and director Yoshihide Ibata's creative direction, this early chunk of the movie can mostly be given a pass, since the part of the story serving as the main appeal for seeing Fruits Basket Prelude wouldn't be enough to flesh out its 88-minute runtime. Likewise, it's also possible they felt padding out Kyoko and Katsuya Honda stories with original content wouldn't do justice to Takaya's beloved manga source material. Thankfully, though, this is something of a minor setback that will at least be serviceable for audiences' content, with experiencing a greatest hits moments of sorts from the 2019 anime series that doesn't detract from Kyoko and Katsuya's story. And to the roughly 30-minute recap portion of the movie's credit, adding Kyo's narration of the 3-season series events is an admittedly nice touch to make it more palatable. While the recap takes up a good portion of the movie, it does transition quite seamlessly into the substantive part of the story, and keeps the context and importance of Toru's parents immediately relevant. After those 30-odd minutes, the Fruits Basket Prelude impressively handles Kyoko and Katsuya's tumultuous yet heartfelt origins with the runtime it has left. How these two come together, as well as the events preceding Kyoko's tragic accident and death, which kickstarts the events of the main series, is depicted with a grounded and raw sense of emotion. This is especially so through Kyoko's side of the story, as her point of view makes both her and Toru's story in the present resonate that much more. Kyoko's upbringing is presented through a lens that emphasizes themes of what neglect by prideful parents does to a child, the negative impact of growing up in a socially strict dynamic, and the unrelenting aftermath of dealing with the death of a loved one. It's easy to fall victim to played-out tropes in the romance drama genre, but her bittersweet story puts justified emphasis on Kyoko's empathetic humanity without feeling like a series of eye-rolling drama tropes put together for shock value. Raw is perhaps one of the best adjectives to describe the portrayal of Kyoko's life story, and the movie doesn't forget to highlight the genuinely heartwarming and rewarding fruits of her labor in turning her life around. Perhaps the one drawback that slightly lessens the impact of certain moments between Kyoko and her parents' strained relationship is how the latter pair are barely given faces to emote. Her prideful, callous, and cruelly unforgiving father and submissive mother, obsessed with how her peers will view their family image, are both relegated as unimportant anime side characters without eyes, which hurts some of the immersion during Kyoko's select screen time with them. These few scenes are otherwise suitably tense, well acted, and provide important context as to why Kyoko starts as a troubled adolescent, why Katsuya is introduced as a man feeling hollow in life, and the payoff of their coming together. Kyoko and Katsuya's emotionally empty pasts, blossoming romance, and untimely fate are what make up the majority of Fruits Basket Prelude's emotionally fulfilling story, but the epilogue ending, jumping back to the present with Toru and Kyo's resolution, is a tasteful curtain call. This finale of the movie is an original segment written by Takaya herself, and it brings the Kyoko-Katsuya dynamic to a heartwarming full circle with the Toru-Kyo pairing. It's a fittingly quiet and intimate scene that effectively puts a neat bow on the overarching Fruits Basket story. With so much focus on the frankly problematic relationship at its center, Fruits Basket Prelude is tricky to watch, and it's even trickier to glean what it's trying to do. But when the focus shifts back to Toru and Kyo, the questionable aspects of her parents' relationship gets a little easier to stomach. After all their hardships, they've managed to unravel the tangled web that the Soma family and Toru's parents caught them both in, and their happiness is well earned. The movie gives them a soft epilogue that the series only briefly touched on. Their resolution is a happy juxtaposition against Kyoko's sad story, and it hands off the happiness she felt in the early days of her young family to the new couple that comes after her. But it's not enough to balance out the movie's uncomfortable relationship and exaggerated melodrama. Prelude still has some traces of what makes Fruits Basket so compelling. So even though the rapid-fire highlight reel feels like it somewhat overstays its welcome, the core of the movie's plot and the satisfying original epilogue make the movie an overall well-earned victory lap for this beloved anime series adaptation. Fruits Basket Prelude isn't perfect, but far from it. It has some serious issues when it comes to structuring, and it wasn't brave enough to stand on its own. By trying to connect itself so much with the previous parts of the story, it ended up becoming a worse film. But for now, Fruits Basket Prelude works perfectly as an ending to this story and its characters. That's a wrap on this episode of Recap and Review of Fruits Basket Prelude. We hope you enjoyed our breakdown and analysis. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more anime content, and hit the notification bell to be notified of our latest and amazing videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day!